Risk taker, businessman, sports and entertainment promoter, and passionate about making Florida the best place to live, shop, work, and play. It's time for the Joe Mullins Radio Show.
Hello, Florida. This is Joe Mullins of the Live, Work, Shop, Play Show, and welcome to another amazing, beautiful weekend in paradise, the beautiful state of Florida. From Tampa to Daytona and from Daytona all the way to Jacksonville. We are live this weekend, and we're going to be showing you some great events in the state of Florida. And one of them that comes in mind is the International Day Food and Music Festival. This is going to be held in Ormond Beach, Florida at the Rockefeller Garden Center. And what an amazing event. You know, with so many things going on and so many great things to do in our state, this is one of the fun things that you can do. And let's get into this show. We're going to talk a little bit about this festival. And with me, I've got one of the coordinators of this festival, William Sanchez. William, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Joe. I'm glad to be here.
Now, William, tell us a little bit about this International Day Festival, how this is different from any other festival that you see in Florida.
The International Day Festival started off as an idea, a seed that I planted on the mayor of Ormond Beach. And with his help, I was able to get a couple of people together that really helped me spearhead the event. It's different in that we're celebrating diversity. We're not celebrating differences, but rather our diversities in this, especially in the state of Florida. Florida being one of the, I would say, a melting pot, very much like New York City is, where I'm from. And Florida has a little bit of everything flavor from the entire world, yet in some places, like for instance, North Florida, where I live in at Ormond Beach, we don't really have that represented. And I know that there's a lot of us here that are first generation Americans like myself and, you know, foreigners as well, that would like to see it represented in areas such as Volusia County. The festival itself is different in that it is a cultural event. We've gone for grants from Volusia County for the mini grant that they offer for the license plate funds, that everyone who gets a license plate from the the state of the arts license plate that the state of Florida offers, part of that goes into the Volusia County coffers for the Cultural Council. And they give out these grants, which we're applying for. And what the grants are intended for is to provide culture to the county, and that's a very wide berth of a term there, but in general, culture encompasses food, encompasses language, encompasses the art, the dance, music, and that's what we're endeavoring to do at this festival. We'll have folkloric dances, we'll have live music, we'll have a parade of nations, and it so happens that the event will happen on Flag Day, so we're going to have the Civil Air Patrol of Ormond Beach, and they'll provide us the honor of doing their color guard duties and showing our reverence to our American flag. We'll have global flavors via food, and obviously I mentioned the dance, and we'll have music nonstop from 11:30 to 5:30, which are the hours of the event, and should be a great place for everybody to come out and enjoy the beautiful Saturday, June 14th again. And it should be a great day. I hope it doesn't rain, but rain or shine, we will be there and we'll be entertaining the masses.
Now, is there a cost to the event, William?
There is no cost to attend. It's a free event for everybody. That was very important for the foundation. By the way, I created a foundation in January. I saw a need for it. The foundation's name is Cultural Awareness Fund. It's based off of Ormond Beach, and its mission is to foster understanding of diverse culture. It's something that is, in my opinion, sorely missing in 2025, and something that will enable our evolution, I believe, in our country, as we seemingly seem like we're forgetting where we're from.
You know, William, you bring up a good point, and I'll use it for example. I'm Italian, I'm American, Cherokee Indian, and I'm also Irish. And I think today in time, this reminds me of a lot of what our Italian festival, Italian Day festival, or Irish Day, or simply put, St. Patrick's Day. We represent and we recognize those foundations that our country is built on. And it's amazing you're doing it on Flag Day, because when I look at the flag, people see 50 stars for 50 states. In my mind, those stars represent countries or nationalities of where people come from also. And it's so many diverse ones, because at one time, and with immigration being focused on like it is, and we're allowing the media to do this. I mean, the media is making immigration such a hot topic and such a bad thing. And it's unfortunate, because there's some really positive things about it and good things about it. And they're making it really diverse, and it's almost a bad word to say now. Oh my God, they're an immigrant, and it's like, guys, we're all immigrants. Because William, when you talk to me, at one time, part of my family came from Ireland, and they weren't so welcomed here. Matter of fact, a lot of them talk about they were slaves coming over and doing work. They were forced. Then the other part of my family came over from Italy. They wanted a better part and better place to live. And then, if you really want to get down to it, the third part of me, American Cherokee Indian, we're the ones that were here first. And we were not given the option to welcome anybody. We were told we were going to give this land up and they were going to take it. So you look at all three cultures and you realize over 250 years, we're celebrating the Flag Day, that we've merged it in and done a beautiful job. We have done an amazing job making America what it is, and it's a very diverse and international country. We're starting to see it more. I was in the gym earlier today, and I saw people in an area where you normally don't see Latin or Hispanic, and I saw them starting to mix in, and I kind of smiled and I said, this is great. I'm starting to see them in Augusta, Georgia, and other places like that, where we're starting to see people merge and blend and grow. And instead of people just saying, well, this is part of my nationality, we're starting to learn and see the cultures and where people come from. I think it's phenomenal. But again, there's a lot of stigma around it. But you've got a lot of great events. When you went into this, how does the current involvement with today play a factor in this event being done, and some concerns you have for it?
Well, the idea started off, obviously, like most of these type of ideas. They are rooted in some politics, in an ideal of what America, or at least what my vision of the United States are. One thing that you mentioned is about the root for this country, and our roots are, for better or worse, they're rooted from cultures as diverse as China, Ireland, as you mentioned, as Chile, Patagonia, Argentina, you name it, from all over the world, India, from any, Fiji, any of these countries, they're represented in this country as in different stages of its evolution. It makes up the country, for better or worse, good or bad.
Well, it does. You got a point with that, because it makes up almost a person today, because so many of us are multi-blended. Like I said, I got three different battles going on inside my body: a passionate Italian, a crazy Irish, and then the Cherokee Indian that's very unique and has very different personalities. So this country is no more like, it's like us. We have so much diversity, and that's why these events, I think, are so important, because we learn about some of the other areas.
Correct. So for me, the event started off as exemplifying my background, first generation American. I'm very proud to be called an American. My father he served in the army in this country, as well as served in his own country of Colombia. So my father's a very proud American as well. So, it's something that I wanted to impart also for my kids. I have 5 kids, and I want 5 children, and I want to make sure that they understand that it's their civic duty to speak up when you need to speak up. It's the right of every American to speak up. We all comprise this country. The stages, the waves of immigration may change, but it's immigration nonetheless that made us great. And if we're going down a path where we're cutting off that piece of our history, of our proud history, then that is a direction that I don't believe we need to take. Immigration needs to be controlled. I'm 100% for control, because since I was a kid, I would always tell my parents, and I would always say that I'm a proud American. When they would say, well, you're part Colombian, I'd be like, no, I'm not part Colombian. I'm full-blooded American. But as I've grown up and I've realized the sensibilities that surround being a multicultural person, like such as yourself, I realized that it is us who impart a little more to the country, and those seeds grow to be something. They come out in the form of innovation and arts and culture in every aspect of life in this country. Immigration has played an important part of it. So this event is to celebrate that diversity, to celebrate every seed that every person that's come to this country has planted in the country, those dreams, those ambitions, that life that they aspire to, and they give to their children. And your original question was why, and that is the why, and why this event is a little different in 2025 in June of 14, and it's different because of the environment that we're living in.
I think these events are ported for that stuff like that, because you think about this, and I want our listeners to really think about this. We're hearing so much, and we're allowing the media, the mainstream media, it's what I call it, the liberal, I don't even think the liberal is a good word for them. They're just evil. And they're going out there and they're making immigration, they're firing up people to think people are bad that are over here and we got to get rid of them all. And then they're turning around, making the ones that are saying, no, we need to do something with this. They're turning around and saying, now all of a sudden this is bad, and it's got the fear of everyone. I've got some very good friends. I'm involved. I love the Fogo de Chao restaurant, Brazilian restaurant, and so many of the people and their family are scared to go out now. They're like, I don't want to get deported, and I'm here legally. And I go, then why are you worried? They go, well, my neighbor said they came around and took his sister, and she was not able to speak good English, and she couldn't tell them that she was American, and she's got papers to be here. So it's almost like you now have to have those papers to show, and there's so many forgeries and counterfeits in the mind of ICE. Exactly. They're going, look, we're going to arrest first, and then we're going to detain first, and then we're going to try to interview and find out. And that's just not a way to live, walking around worried that you're going to get grabbed up, especially if you got your kids and your kids are in school. You go out and one day you just don't come back in. So there's fears there. I think events like this are crucial. And if you want to help or volunteer, tell them real quick how they can support and help the event.
Our website is culturalawarenessfund.com. Again, that's culturalawarenessfund.com. And all the information can be found there.
And guys, we're going to take this little break here. We'll be right back to the show in just a minute.
We're going to come right back after this commercial break. We want to thank you for listening to Live, Work, Shop, Play, the Joe Mullins Show. And if you want to advertise and connect with our many, many listeners around the country, please reach out to events@tmc.work. And if you have any show topics or people you'd like to see come on, like our Facebook page to follow upcoming shows and to give us any recommendations. The Live, Work, Shop, Play page of Florida on Facebook and Instagram. Live, Work, Shop, Play. Have a great weekend. Welcome back to the Live, Work, Shop, Play show. With me, I've got one of the coordinators, William Sanchez, of this International Day Food and Music Festival. This is going to be held in Ormond Beach. This is important. Events like this are important to be able to go out and see what these beautiful worlds are made of. This beautiful world is made of. We're all God's children. He created this beautiful world with the differences. And my God, when we see these little babies and these little kids running around and they're half Latin American, half American, or half Latin American and half Russian, or half American and half Colombian or Cuban, or it is such a beautiful blend. And you got to remember, that is what we're made of. That's no different than me being Irish, Italian, and American Indian. We're made of, and we've been able to make it work for 250 years. This day is going to celebrate, and we need to know we can make it work for 250 more, but we've got to be compassionate. And we've also got do we need a path to come in the country? Yes. Do we need to not just allow anyone in and make sure they have a background because we want safety? Yes. But at the end of the day, the excessive sides on both are what scare the heck out of me. And events like this are important to do it. So let's talk a little more about this incredible event, William. So I see on here, there's going to be a lot of entertainment. There's Puerto Rican music, there's Colombian music, there's Brazilian, there's Hawaiian. Special guest DJ there as well. You're going to have soprano singers, folk dancers, jazz, blues, and more. So, I can't wait. Imagine the dancing, when you see this Latin American dancing, that's probably one of the most fun things that I see when I go to South Florida is these bars and clubs and restaurants where the Latin American are doing the samba and
Oh, absolutely. But in this case, it's not necessarily samba or merengue or salsa. What it would be are folkloric dances like vallenato, which is a form of Colombian music. We'll have a troupe of maybe 6 ladies who will dress in what they call the tricolor dresses with the black colors on them. And they'll be dancing traditional dances, more of the native Indian folkloric type dances, not the samba, not the other stuff. We're also going to have a French singer. By the way, we have Russian singers. We're going to have a jazz ensemble band as well. That's just I was just informed about today. We're going to have German singer. So the lineup is getting bigger, and we're actually anticipating having to put out a second stage because the buy-in from the community has been so important. Mind you that a lot of these entertainers, they're not getting paid. They just, they bought into the vision, the idea, the mission of the festival, and they see the importance, and they've donated their time to provide the entertainment so that they can show their craft in their native tongue, which is the other important thing about this. The Brazilian singer Julissima should be singing in Portuguese, but she'll be singing Brazilian and Portugal-based music. The Janilka, she's a Puerto Rican singer, but she'll be doing a Gloria Estefan tribute bit. So, which is kind of neat because most people they know who Gloria Estefan is, one of the most famous Cuban singers of modern times. So the Jewels they do Hawaiian and they do Latin and modern dances, but on top of that, they'll be doing a Filipino-based folkloric dance at the event as well. So there's going to be a little bit of everything for everybody, but it's not what you're going to be able to see at a discotheque or whatnot. It's something that is rare in the area. So people should come out and they'll be prepared to immerse themselves in the culture of these countries. It's very much like in the like Epcot Center when you walk around the world of the showcase of the world. And each stop has a different.
It's funny because when I go to events like this, and this is what I was more talking, I love people watching. And what I'm talking about is when the music starts, I look up and I play a game. I go, let me guess where this Latin American's from, what country, because we think of America and South America as one, but people don't realize South America is actually a bunch of different countries. It's like Georgia and Florida being 2 different countries. So I sit there and I'll watch the music play and I'll see the women, and you can tell a Brazilian or a Colombian in a minute because they start moving a certain way, and it's entertaining to watch it. It's a beautiful art. I mean, it's beautiful. I sit here and go, I don't think an American can move that way. We'd throw our back out or hurt our hip. And then you see the Cuban, and when I went to Cuba for the first time and getting to see Copacabana, it was unbelievable. The music, the flamboyance, the art. It just like going to Carnival in Brazil. I've seen the videos and pictures and go, I want to go there. The culture and the music and the way they take it and the outfits are astonishing. So to be able to have a festival like this that brings that to us to see it lets us know that these people, it's like when we grew up. We grew up thinking Russia was very evil, and I never forgot when I first met my first Russian person, I thought they were going to kill me because it was a Cold War. We allowed the media to take the presentation. When I met them, they're amazing, smart, beautiful people. And it's like, y'all aren't like that. They go, no, it's our government. We hate our government, but they're just like us. They're in a bad situation. And I think the Latin American people saved our country because you guys were the first to say, hey, what this other side is selling is what our country did. It's called socialism, and it doesn't work. They're not going to take care of you. They're just going to take all your money and leave you struggling. So festivals like this are amazing. Now, I also see you've got folk dancers, you've got live music, you got Oktoberfest tent, you got Parade of Nations, global flavors, face painting, petting zoo. I can't wait. What about the food? I'm a big foodie. What's the food going to be like here?
All over the world. We have food from Serra which is a Brazilian Portuguese restaurant, Arepita, which is here in Daytona Beach, is a Venezuelan outfit, Agua Dulce, Colombian food, the Inca 360, Peruvian food, Don Giovanni's, who's one of our early sponsors, and I definitely want to thank them and our sponsors. He's an Italian food eatery here in Ormond Beach as well as in Port Orange. I mean, we have Soraya's Mediterranean Cafe, which is a Turkish food. We have even charcuterie via Salty Beach Charcuterie Mobile. 35 Bistro and Wine will be representing France as well. We have even a new up-and-coming restaurant that just opened in Ormond Beach that's offering Puerto Rican food, Chef Papi's Flavors. We even have a Ukrainian outfit. They sell pierogies, which are extremely delicious. And for those that don't know what pierogies is, it's like raviolis, but much more delicious. My first wife was Russian, so I totally understand you when you talked about the Russians. We have Filipino food. We have Japanese food. We have American food via Chonky's Kitchen, which is a food truck here. So we're going to have quite an eclectic mix of food from all over, as well as the Hungarians that will have Hungarian food available, I'm sure. And Iranians are setting up a tent for teas and desserts. So it'll be set up as very much of a Persian shop with Persian rugs. It's going to look very swanky, very nice. The Vietnamese are also bringing food. So it's going to be a wide variety for people to try food that they would not ordinarily be able to try in Ormond Beach, because we don't really have a lot of these places accessible and they don't really know they exist. So this is a place where you can come immerse yourself in food and music and dance and leave out feeling good. Make sure that you bring your lawn chairs, because although we'll have chairs and tables, if there aren't any, your lawn chair will be used. Will be handy for you to listen to all the entertainment. There'll be plenty of space for everybody.
William, I want to thank you for joining me, and I want to remind our listeners, these sponsors are so crucial for events like this. Do business where people support the community. That's one of the key things, but I want to mention a few. I see Hamlin and Associates, an automotive technology company, Bayer and Brown, Realty Pros, VIP Care, Volusia County, Florida, Ormond Beach, Main Street, Don Giovanni, Daytona, Nissan and Infinity, Art 001, and then we've got so many others.
Jason Volts from Coldwell Banker, but I also, just to interject a little, I want to give a special thanks to Hamlin and Associates, because they believed in us. They were our first sponsor, believe it or not, and they were our presenting sponsor. So they bought on to the idea of what we were doing, and I'm very grateful to them, because without sponsorship money, these events don't happen, and I think that they're extremely important. So thank you very much, Hamlin and Associates. And Daytona Beverages, because Daytona Beverages really stepped up where no one else did, and I want to give a special shout out to them.
Devin Bowler is an amazing guy at Daytona Beverage, and they do so much. Again, that's another business that the media attacked, the Budweiser brand, and it just got all out of hand. But you know what? Today's the day to celebrate. June 14th, 11:30 to 5:30 at Rockefeller Gardens, 25 Riverside Drive, Ormond Beach, Florida. And if you want to help or volunteer, please reach out. William, tell them real quick how they can find out how they can support and help the event.
Our website is culturalawarenessfund.com. Again, that's culturalawarenessfund.com. And all the information can be found there. And our email address for information is info@culturalawarenessfund.com. And I can give you my number. Anybody is welcome to call me, 786-942-4449. We're still looking for volunteers. It takes an army to put these events together. I have about 18 people that are dedicated to it, but I definitely need a bit more for the day of for events. And also, if there are any sponsors out there that would like to pitch in for the last effort, because as always, these things are expensive to put through. and we can always use the extra funds to finalize the event in the way that it should. And with that, I'm done. I appreciate your time, Joe.
Go out and have a great weekend, and let's all enjoy. And remember, events like this are what make Florida the best place to live, work, shop, and play. And if you missed this week's show or want to listen to a past show, stream in anytime at themullenscompanies.com or on Facebook, The Joe Mullins Radio Show, and listen live to any of our past shows and this one. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you out at the International Day Festival.